Hey everybody, G Bear here, homesteading the desert. Today is the 30th. It says home. That is because I made the final trek up here. I now have moved in to this homestead and moved out of the OC. I brought up the last load on the trailer this morning. I got here at about 11:30 this morning, and I've been relaxing today because, I don't know, it was just a tiresome day coming up. But we also had some winds, 22-mile-an-hour gusts. Right now sustained at 15, averaging 17. And it's been cool. It's 64 degrees. But you can see here the wind gusts have been picking up in the last hour here, but they also are supposed to go all the way through tonight. And I started unloading some items, but every time I open the door, the wind grabs it, and whatever I've got in my hands, I've got to hang on to it twice as hard. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to bring in what I need to bring in, and everything else can wait until the wind dies down. Because I don't have to be back down in the OC until the 8th for a little job, but in the meantime, I'm going to relax. I'm stepping outside here, and you can see my trailer, and I had a yard sale at a friend's house, and I sold a bunch of stuff. I got rid of a bunch of stuff, but these are some of the expensive items that that unit right there is for putting a metal roof on, and that's a bender brake, and the pieces on the bottom, I've got a shear for cutting the metal. And this one here, the big white part there, that's a bender brake. And then the dishwasher, that box there is a rolling Craftsman toolbox full of tools. I've got my 16-foot ladder over there, extension ladder. I've got a little 4-foot standing ladder there, and I brought a couple of tables up and so forth and so on. And then of course my hand truck here, and the metal piece that I put on there for moving water bottles around. And then the van itself is basically just stuffed full, and I'll show you there. You can see it goes all the way up to this height, so there's quite a bit of stuff in there. And I'm not going to open the door because this wind is really gusting. I will show you up there. You can see the turbine is just a whistling. I mean, it sounds like an alien spaceship. It's making a loud whining sound, just because the wind is gusting it so hard. And then my little wind meter there is just spinning around nice and steady. Then I brought a couple of coolers up because I had to empty all the extra food out of the refrigerator down there before I left that house. And I was out of there on the 27th, and I stayed at my friend Vincent and Lisa's since then, and that's where we had the yard sale in their driveway. So tomorrow, hopefully the wind will have calmed down a little bit, and I'll start getting things done. We'll have another video then. For right now, this is the day we've all been waiting for. Over 2 years since 2016, when I first started coming up here and started setting this up, and I was actually living out of the van right down there by those piles of rocks, and had a little homemade wooden porta potty that I made out of wood I found out in the desert. And we've advanced to a one-room cabin, a chicken coop, an outhouse, 2 shipping containers, a cactus. Oh, we can add a little bit onto this video here. Let me take a walk over. I want to show you my my Sunions are doing well, even though I've left them up here for a few days without watering them. They are taking very well and coming up beautifully. So I'm going to have some Sunions there. And we'll move on over here to the cloud potatoes. And the cloud potatoes are really, really doing well. I mean, those things are as healthy as can be. I'm going to, I've got a couple more seed potatoes already showing some buds on them inside the cabin. I'm going to set up a second one of these in the next few days and get a second one hung so that when I'm ready to take this one down, the next one will already be starting to produce. That's it for now, everybody. G-Bear signing off. We'll have another episode tomorrow. And I'm going to have to rename it now because this is no longer the first 2 years. This is day 1 of permanent residence.